Give the people a winner.
All right, I'm going to do my best. I'm taking the under 8 between the Twins and the Brewers. Number one, this is already 7.5 in most spots. At BetMGM, you can still find it at 8, which is signaling that we're seeing money hitting the under here. And I think the trend that I'm watching in this one is the fact that both of these teams are top 4 in the league in strikeout percentage. These are two strikeout prone teams going against strikeout pitchers. How do you think that's going to go? Corbin Burns comes into this one when his stuff is working. It's certainly working. He struck out at least 7 batters in each of his last 3 starts. And then looking at Pablo Lopez on the other end, 92 strikeouts in just 78 innings of work. Anytime you average more than a strikeout per inning, you're doing something right, especially against Minnesota, who leads the majors in strikeout percentage, striking out 28% of the time. Both these teams also hitting the under in recent games and also under on the season. Twins hitting the under in 7 of their last 10. Brewers under in 6 of their last 10 with a push. So I'm going to hit the under 8 between the Twins and the Brewers and hoping for a lot of strikeouts and a lot of stranded base runners.
Please, baby Jesus, let me not wake up and be 0-6. I did have 7 plays, and I finally cut one. I just couldn't do it. Panthers at the Knights tonight. Knights 3-way money line, -110. I have a juicy card, so I didn't want to lay $1.70 with the Golden Knights, even in a game in which I really like them. This has been a hotly contested series. We know that. But one game has gone to overtime, just game 3. And I think this is where Florida's luck finally runs out. The Knights dominated both games on home ice in this series. They won 5-2 in game 1, 7-2 in game 2. And now Matthew Tkachuk, banged up for Florida, has an upper body injury. The Knights are deeper. Aiden Hill has been unbelievable in the postseason, a goals against average of 2.11. The Knights close this thing out in regulation. Vegas, 3-way money line, -110.
Holstra has cemented his place as one of the best coaches in the NBA. In 4 years with Jimmy Butler, they've been to 3 Eastern Conference Finals. They also got swept in the first round in their other playoff appearance. So, Jinx, take your pick. Next year, the Heat, back to the Eastern Conference Finals, or flame out in the first round?
Ooh, I don't think they flame out in the first round, but I don't know. I feel like I'm choosing the middle ground here. I don't know if they can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's probably going to be the Bucks, maybe the Celtics. Not really a believer in the Sixers, but I don't see them flaming out in the first round again. I think the Heat found something here. And remember, they did this without Victor Oladipo. They did this without Tyler Hero. So if this is a team that found what it takes, I think this galvanized them, is what I'm trying to say, as a team. And Coach Spo showed why he has been long regarded as one of the best teams in the NBA. I think they are so much better than we will expect them to be based on this past season, but based on this run to the NBA Finals. But I can't go so far as to say they're going to get back to the NBA Finals here, because I think the Bucks are probably going to be too strong in the East.
I think it's a tough call on the Miami Heat because what they did in the postseason, I'm not sure is super repeatable. If you look at their 3-point percentage, they played the most games of any team, of course, other than the Nuggets, who played the same. Or no, the Nuggets played fewer games, but the Heat shot 38% from the 3-point line for the entirety of the postseason, which is better than any team. The numbers that they put up in some of those games, too, the fact that they're shooting 50% or close to it from the 3-point line and some of those wins, I don't think it's repeatable. And I think that on the other end is why the Nuggets are probably the play for the West next year, just because it's a more repeatable style of offense. What the Heat did this year, I don't think is something that is very easy to repeat. I think they got lightning in a bottle. They put together some good wins off hot 3-point shooting and also the will to win for Jimmy Butler. It's a tough road. Remember, this is a team that almost missed the postseason.
All the big names are kind of packed in the AFC, and then you have the Eagles over in the NFC. Again, market very high on San Francisco. Everything seems to be positive coming out of, Kyle Shanahan's mouth in regards to Brock Purdy's development and his availability this season. But a very small sample size with Brock Purdy. Still a lot to
Mhm.
prove, right? Only played half a season last year. Battled an oblique injury early in the year. Ended up getting injured in the NFC Championship. So, you don't know. Is this a guy that can stay healthy throughout a full season? So when you look at the people in the NFC, not a lot of top quarterbacks, so that's going to make Hurts stand out, much like he did last year. And I think the Eagles are a team that really has staying power in a very weak conference. And, while these other teams in the AFC kind of beat each other up throughout the season, I think that Hurts is very live to win the MVP if he continues his development. Made a huge year in year two, so a huge leap in year two. So I think he can do it again this upcoming season.
I think Vegas is going to close things out tonight. Did you see the brawl at the end of game 4? I don't know if you did or not.
I did not. Even though I saw a quote that, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels, I'm not going to say like problematic, but it feels a little arrogant to me. Because the Golden Knights head coach, Bruce Cassidy, said this. He said, I think the fans should celebrate or be prepared to celebrate. It's up to us to get the job done. Florida is obviously a huge obstacle in our way. I mean, they want to extend the series, so nothing's automatic, but I think the fans should enjoy their moment and be prepared for it. Does that seem a little arrogant to you? Like, I would probably need to listen to the tone and the way that he said it, but it feels like this is a Golden Knights team that feels like this is it.
It's damn sure confident, though.
Confident.
So maybe it's
we'll
the
say
same.
That.
Maybe it's the same thing, right? Like maybe I'm splitting hairs here. So maybe you're right about this. I would not say anything like that and give the Panthers any sort of bulletin board material, but I really see the Knights closing this thing out. I don't want to lay $1.75. By the way, my card is going to be ridiculous. I have 7 plays right now. I just cut it down to 6. But I think I'm going to play the Knights to win in regulation at -110. $1.75 is so expensive. And I see a lot of people. That's a weird thing about heavy favorites in baseball or hockey. It sounds crazy, but it's really not. I see a lot of people saying Knights 175, Knights -175. They're the better team here. I think they get it done in regulation just because of how the first 2 games of this series in Vegas went, where the Golden Knights just dominated. They won 5-2 in game 1. They won 7-2 in game 2. And now, and this is really a big factor for me, is that Matthew Tkachuk, who is truly the leader of that Panthers team, he's injured. He may play, but he has an upper body injury. So when you're going all the way across the country to Vegas, where you got absolutely walloped in the first 2 games, and you're already on the edge of your season being over, you're way behind the 8 ball, and your best player is injured, it just feels like to me that this thing's going to come to a close tonight.